Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, so I'm going to wait a little bit so people can start viewing what I've learned. Also, just to preface this video, there are chickens and guineas.
Guineas, yes.
Guineas that are just out and about because I'm in the middle of nowhere. The reason why it's been so long since I've done a live video is because from the time the one with Lambo ended to this one, I've been driving here to get to her house. Zane is now an adult, so it's cool though, because we're here. So I know that lately I've been talking a lot about mental health, and I wanted to talk to Jennifer, aka Punchy, about mental health and running and what it's done for her. I've had some personal, what word am I thinking of? Like I've done running. I've done running. This is why I like to do it live. Yes, I still run. And I've done it for mental health. Everyone says, I wish I could like running as much as you. And I know that you get it all the time too. And it's like, I don't like running. I like what running does for me. I like to put on some music and just get lost in my thoughts. And, if you research it, you look at the benefits physically for running, and it's like, there's really not a lot. The number one benefit for running is mental health. So I just wanted to chat with Jennifer about running and just kind of go on her, what her journey has been. So I'm going to hand it over to you.
My mental health struggle started almost 5 years ago when I lost my son in a tragic ATV accident. Right after that, I just couldn't sleep. I wasn't physically tired, couldn't shut my thoughts off. All I could do was go and run until I was so exhausted. All I did was sleep when I got in bed. That was the only way I could sleep. I mean, your thoughts just go 90 to nothing, and you can't organize them. You can't make sense of them. And the only way to do that was to be physically exhausted. I'd run fast. I'd run long.
So did you ever run before this happened? Like, did you ever?
Off and on. My mom went through some time where she, struggled mentally and started running, doing some things like that. And I saw what it did for her, that it would make her, be able to cope with the things that were going on. And just dabbled in it a little bit with her. And then, a little bit later, it's like, okay, yeah, I really didn't like it. I just did it because other people were doing it, But I had a friend that I had confided in and said, I'm struggling, and it was about that time where Derby was winding down.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I'm commuting. It's just, it's wearing me out.
Which now I know why. I mean, good God.
It's getting older, and it was just like the thought of people hitting me was just getting too much. And I had a friend say, hey, have you thought about running? Have you thought about just going and running? And it did wonders. I was like, I could actually sleep. So at first I was doing it for exhaustion. I needed to sleep. I needed to, the only way to reset was to sleep.
Yeah.
And so the only way to do that was to get exhausted. Then later on I started to figure out that it would keep thoughts, away while I was running. I could run and not think about anything else.
It's the busy thoughts.
When you're running, for me, I think about where you're looking.
Yeah.
What is your mouth doing? Are you breathing right? Are your shoulders low? Are your arms where they're supposed to be? Are your hands doing right? Are your hips right? Are your knees right? Oh, don't curl your toes. Oh, wait, go back. And I go back up to my head and start, okay, you're looking in the right spot. And it's like I mentally check all the way physically down. I don't have time to think of anything else.
Man, we're completely opposite runners.
I don't have time to worry about, how much I miss Aaron, or how much do I need to give to Alan right now because he misses Aaron. And I don't allow those thoughts in because my mind is so busy thinking about other things. Yeah, the music creeps in there a little bit. I need that background noise, but it's more that I think in a circle, and it just then
it's like mind numbing.
Yeah, and then I don't have to think about anything else. It's like I'm tired of thinking, so nothing else creeps in.
Yeah.
You know, and that just seemed to be the easiest way to do it. You know, so the benefits come a little bit, you know, I stay in somewhat shape. I have to have a goal. The goal helps me get out of bed every day. If I sign up for a race, then I pay a lot of money for that race.
Which people don't understand. It's like, yes, I'm going to pay $200 to go run 100 miles or whatever.
It was $200 to run that ultra. So $200 is a lot of money to me. So it was
tell everyone how many miles you just ran at your most recent race.
I ran the ultra and it was 31 miles.
Yeah, 31 miles.
Long miles. I didn't set any records, so I'll tell you that much, but I finished, thanks to Molly, she helped quite a bit.
I the whole time I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. That was awesome.
It was a good day. It was a good day. I felt very accomplished. I feel proud of myself afterwards, so that keeps me wanting to do stuff for myself, because when you have mental health issues, you start to forget to take care of yourself. There was days that I didn't even want to brush my teeth. I'd go a whole day and it's like, oh, I really just don't want to brush my teeth today. So, you know, when you have a goal, that's all you think about. And like I mentioned to my mom the other day, is like, if I'm not running, I'm thinking about running. If I'm at work, that's all I think about all day, is because I'm excited. I get to go run. That's all I think about. And that, you know, helps keep those thoughts away from me. Yeah. You know, if I just have a goal, it's
therapeutic. I feel like, and that's kind of where it's my therapy, you know, and it's funny because you think about your next goal, and it's like when I was crossing the finish line with you, you're like, oh my God, never again. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And it's such a joke because every runner does this. You finish a race, and then I'm not even kidding you. Maybe 2 weeks later, I get this text from her. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. How many miles?
I want to do a 100-miler. I want to do 100 miles. I don't know that that's going to happen.
100 miles.
I don't know that that's going to happen, like, in 2020, but I think I'm going to do a 50. I did a 50K. I'm going to do a 100K first, and we'll see how that goes. But I think my ultimate goal it's got to be 100 miles. It's got to be. I mean, I'm scared to see what life is without goals. You know what I mean? So I have to push forward, and I'm afraid if I set the goal too easy, I won't do it. You know, if I let too much time lapse, it's what's the sense? Yeah. You know, what's the sense in doing anything?
So what was your first race? Like, so you picked up running, and how long after when you signed up for like your first race, and what was the distance of your first race?
You mean as far as when I quit derby to running, and I did a half marathon. I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to run 13 miles? That's just insane. Yeah. That's crazy. How am I going to do this? So I thought, so I was like, okay, well, here's the date. Let's back up a little bit. Because if you let yourself think, okay, well, that's February. That's 6 months from now. You got a whole lot of time to sit around if you think, that's a long time away. I'll just run a couple weeks.
Herc's giving you some love.
Oh, hi, Herc. So no, I had to set, I ran my first 10K. In between there, I had,
which is 7 or 6.
6, yeah. So something. I ran a couple of 5Ks and said, okay, it's time to do a 10K. So then that's the short-term goal, is you gotta get that 10K in there.
It's like baby steps.
Right. Keep doing that, and then, okay, now we're gonna start adding mileage on the weekends. And then you're like, what? You want me to run 10 miles? No. So you just do it. Well, of course, when you finish the half marathon, you're like, okay, it's time for a full.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one was fun. That one was super hard. I wasn't prepared, didn't train for that. I trained for it, I should say. I wasn't prepared as in I got dehydrated.
It was the Cowtown. The
Cowtown, yeah. I got dehydrated, ended up with a bladder infection. I lost toenails. It just was. So that was a rough race. I didn't expect it to be But it didn't take but 2 days later for me to say,
yeah,
well, that was a 3-medal series. I'm getting a 3rd medal. Well, I can't run the same race twice. Why would you, let yourself go back on it?
It's not as satisfying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It in my mind, it's like, don't let yourself be easy. And so, okay, well, we're going to push for the ultra then, and signed up for it that day. So I have to, because then, like I said, it keeps me in the morning. I get up, I put my bag together, I go to work. That's all I think about is running when I get home, and then I feel accomplished that way. It still helps me sleep.
Yeah.
But I have to stay very routine and very regimented. If somebody wants to hang out on a day I'm supposed to run,
no, because it's like,
I can't.
Once you get out of your routine, it's really hard.
There's been times that we've gone to see my parents and over there in East Texas, and it was like, Mom's like, come on, let's go hang out. And I'm like, we'll come, but plan on me running.
Yeah.
And my mom was amazing. I had to run 10 miles that one time I was there. Oh my God, so hilly. But it was such a narrow road, and it's so windy, and she was nervous about me. She followed me in the car all the way around until I finished my 10 laps that were.
Could you imagine being someone just watching that and thinking this car was following you?
She just followed me, and it was amazing how she just was there, my support system.
Yeah.
My mom has been huge. She's
super nice.
She will talk to me. She will let me talk for hours on end about running. Hours and hours on end. And just say, you're doing fine.
Isn't it funny how you can talk about just as simple as running for so long? Like, I found myself, like, it was probably a year ago, I was talking to someone about running. And, like, I looked at the time, and it literally, like, an hour had gone by. And I'm like, this person probably hates me. I'm literally talking about just going fast on your feet. Like, I mean, people don't understand it unless you do it. And I really wanted to get the message out there for people who, whether you struggle with mental health or not, and, maybe you don't do running, but maybe this could be motivation to do that, to see what it does for you. And, I think that you just don't know until you do it. And, I mean, at least you could say you tried.
When you're exhausted, you tend to not it's too hard to think. And
thinking is hard.
It's hard, and it's rough on your body. But if you exhaust yourself, where you're like, golly, I'm exhausted, and those depressing thoughts don't creep in. You're keeping them at bay. We tried all kinds of things, and we tried group therapy. That was not good for me or for Alan at all. We went to counseling for about a year. That helped a little bit. She gave us some good coping skills. But in Derby, what filled in that gap a little bit, because I had 20 sisters I never had. Yeah. Never been a part of really team sports up until then. So that was a good support system. They were always there to help me, especially at the time Aaron passed away. And it was just after that the running came, and then realized, okay, you're doing this for you, not for anybody else. You're doing this for you, and you're accomplishing something. And Aaron would be proud of me. I think Aaron a lot of times pushes me forward, and he knows I talk to him all the time. I'm like, please, Lord, help me get up this hill. Please just push me up this hill, because I don't like it. Can you please just push me a little bit? And it is kind of strange, and you might think this is a little funny that I'm saying this, but when I ask him to push me, I feel a breeze. I feel, and that makes me happy. And when I see signs from that, it's like, okay, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it every single time, so that maybe there's that chance I do feel him. So if you feel him one time, you'll feel him again. So you keep doing what you ask. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
don't think I think it's real. Like, it's totally real.
Yeah. And, I've had several people stop me during the race, or not stop me, but run beside me. And what is that 5 on your leg? And I tell them, and they're like, oh, that's so cool. Keep running. You're doing a great job. Yeah. There's those little things that you look for, that push you, and then you're like, oh, that's nice.
And it's like your own personal motivation. And like, I think that's awesome. And my first half marathon I ran, you were there at the finish line, and
you asked me to.
Yeah.
If you ask me to do something, I'm gonna do it. You ask me to come, I'm gonna do it. You know, because that's what friends are for, and that's what your support system is for.
Yeah. Is
that if you're in the time of need or you want something, you ask me to do it, I'm gonna do it. And I know that you would do it for me in return, because look, you've been to my big races too, and I wouldn't miss it, you know.
Well, and it's really cool. Same here. Like, I would not miss it, because I know that feeling, and I think when I ran my first marathon, it was in LA, and it was the coolest experience. And I crossed that finish line, and I didn't have anyone there, you know, and Bazooka was there. She was running, so it's like, you know, she wasn't there. She also hates me for peer pressuring her to sign up for that race. So she has a different opinion about running. Don't talk to her about it.
Zuki.
But it's so hard. You know, you have all these emotions during however many hours that you're running, and then you cross this finish line, and like the emptiness of just kind of like, oh man, like,
it's such a
no
release.
One's here. But when you see someone and they're smiling, and again, you're just running, like, it's nothing, but it's just such an accomplishment, and for people to be there, like, so I understand that. So, like, of course I'm gonna be there, and plus I'm like, I need to witness this lady running 31 miles.
Look, Bazooka's now watching. Bazooka, you missed it.
Oh no, she can rewatch. I'm gonna get her to run another marathon. I'm gonna get you to run another marathon. I'm signing up for the LA Marathon for next year. I've decided right now. I'm taking you with me.
I'm not sure why, but after I finished the half marathon, I cried.
Yeah, it's emotional.
It's a release, and you just let go of all the heaviness.
Yeah.
You know, my full marathon, I cried. The ultra, I cried, and I cried a long time. And Alan jumped over the fence and came and hugged me, and he's like, "Why are you crying?"
I
was like, "I don't know."
I don't know. You know what I said?
Cried.
I said, "Bitch, she just ran 31 miles. Of course she's crying."
It was hard. It wasn't that I was tired. I physically was exhausted, but I felt so happy.
Yeah.
And so
it's overwhelming.
Released and so accomplished. It's like all these different things. It's like, how could depression creep in through that?
Yeah.
You know, you push yourself every day to push and get that endorphin feel every single day. You're going to accomplish big things, you know?
And, you know, running is so powerful. And it's very ironic, because when you work, you know, I think a lot of people do like 16-week training programs for marathons. And it's
girl, no, I have to train all year round.
Or 52 weeks, whatever. My bad. No. A lot of weeks.
Yeah.
So when you do that, and then you run this race, and you cross the finish line, you have all these emotions, and it's like happiness, relief, whatever. But then you're off of that marathon high, and you sit, and you're like, well, what am I going to do with myself now? And it's so ironic because you get kind of depressed.
Yes.
About...
Yes. And this last race was that same exact way. When I get home, it's like I feel great, but then 5 seconds later, I'm like, oh crap, what am I going to do now?
It's like you have no purpose anymore.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh crap, my legs hurt. What do you mean? What are you going to do now? And then it's like, oh crap, my legs hurt, but I want to run another race, you know? And so it's real hard to take that off week, because I usually don't do anything for that week following, just to recover. And it's the hardest week. I have trouble getting up and going to work. I don't want to. It's hard just getting out of bed. I don't want to eat. I struggle with just wanting to go grocery shopping and do chores around the house and things like that. And it's like, crap, we've got to do something. You remember? And I texted you, and I was like, I've got to find a race. I've got to find something to do now, or else I'm just going to get worse and worse and worse. I allow myself that week, and then that's it. You gotta figure it out. And
I think that was also what was so hard for me. Like, you know, I I ran the LA Marathon in March of 2017, and then I ran the Dallas Marathon in December 2017, and then I got pregnant in March of 2018, and then it's like, well, you know, I ran a couple of races or whatever, but not like super long distance. And it's like, it was hard for me not to have a goal. And not having that, you know, caused me to go through depression when I was pregnant. Like, it was just tough because towards the end I was running, but like I was running, you know, maybe 3 miles, which I know like a lot of you rolling your eyes right now because it's like, I wish I could run 3 miles. But for me, it was hard. And so when I, you know, had Zane and I was thinking, okay, I need to run a marathon. I need to. And I signed up for a marathon that's happening in 2 weekends. I'm not going. What? I couldn't even train. I was like 4 weeks out of the hospital signing up for a marathon. I mean, this is how struggle is real. So, you're welcome, Rock and Roll Marathon, for my, you know, $130 donation. I'm not going. So, you know.
See, this is exactly why I get up and go and run, because I'm not giving anybody my money.
So, yeah, I mean, people won't understand it unless you do it. But if you are, I mean, and it's hard to think about people that don't have mental health issues, you know, but if you are struggling and, you know, you want to try something new, like, I think it's definitely worth it, like, to go run 1 mile, you know? I mean,
shoot, even just get out and walk.
Yeah.
Walking will help. And
being in
but
nature,
then when you get
know.
to where you're walking a lot and you're getting more and more comfortable, you're like, oh, I could chop down to the corner. And
It's
then,
baby milestones.
Yeah, and if you're going up to the track, you know, walk the straights, run the curves, and then you switch it up, and then you see everybody else running. Or heck, if you need someone to run with you, I'll come run with you. I run super slow, but I'll come run with you. I'm always down to run with anybody that asks for help or says, hey, how about this and this and this? I'm down. Let me know. I'll come, because it helps me.
But allow for like a 3-hour window.
Yeah.
Listen, we're in Whit, Texas. Whit. WHITT. Next to Weatherford. We're here with chickens.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we're talking about running, but chickens is my other thing that helps my depression.
I held a chicken today.
She did. She fed a chicken. It was pretty awesome.
Yes.
Pictures to follow.
Yes, I will be posting pictures with this chicken. I fed saltines.
Hey, you know, you go for a long run and you come home and you got to clean the coop. It's just, it is what it is.
That's not what I do. I clean my house, but I don't have chickens. But maybe I'll get chickens. Sorry, Joel.
Chickens were a way for me to have something to mother.
It's awesome.
They're my kids.
They're loud.
Yeah.
They're loud kids.
They're loud kids.
It's cool, though.
They're unruly because they just go everywhere, but it's fun. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, oh, chickens, really? Like, they love me unconditionally. Yeah. They don't care that I clean their coop when I'm stinky and sweaty.
And I got some eggs out of it.
You
so,
did.
So I thank you guys for watching. Like, I always say this, like, message me, feel free. I'm sure Punchy is like open to any questions, and hopefully if this has helped you, if not, has entertained you for the last however long. I don't know why this doesn't say the time, but so thank you guys. I'll be having another Facebook Live this week. With ODB, Sydney Smith. Why do I not know real names?
ODB.
I know. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.